Do you not see that Allah has subjected to you whatever is on the earth, and the ships which run through the sea by His command? And He restrains the sky from falling upon the earth, unless by His permission. Wait, what? Indeed, Allah to the people is kind and merciful. Hi everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. This is the beginning of a series that I call Crazy Quran Verses. In this series, we will go through verses or collections of verses in the Quran that seem a bit crazy. Crazy due to scientific flaws or to other logical issues or even personal issues or his insecurities. If you have any suggestion for this series, please make your suggestions in the comments section. And also, before I forget, please support me on Patreon. God damn it. Well, if we look at that first, we see two very weird points in that. But I want to deal just with one of those points, and that point is obviously that Allah holds the sky so it doesn't fall down on earth. Anyway, if you read it as a Muslim, as a believer who doesn't want to doubt his religion, you might think, well, this probably means something else, something different, or you don't even want to think about it. You don't even want to question the point behind this verse and the logic behind this verse, but it's basically what it says. Some Muslims might still say, well, you're reading the wrong translation, and you have to read the real translation, and you have to go to a scholar to understand it. Well, let's look at translations. A translation by Khatir, a well-known translator of the Quran, says, "And He withholds the heaven from falling on the earth, except with His permission." Goal. Muhammad Sarwar, also very prominent, says, "He prevents the sky from falling on the earth unless He decides otherwise." Mohsin Khan says, "He withholds the heaven from falling down on earth, except by His leave." Maududi, also very prominent, says, "And it is He who holds back the sky, that it may not fall on earth except by His leave." Waiduddin Khan, very prominent, says He holds back the sky from falling down on earth except with His permission. Pickthall, very, very, very prominent, especially in the West, says, "And He holdeth back the heaven from falling on earth unless by His leave. Lo, Allah is for mankind full of pity and merciful." Anyway, one translation that I found, Yusuf Ali, very well spread, says He withholds the sky and, in parentheses, rain from falling on the earth except by His leave. But translations by Yusuf Ali are very large translations that are mostly accurate in their translations, but you can find explanations by him in the Quran verses, explanations that are usually not there, like this rain in the parentheses. I can understand why he put that there, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. So as you can see, the translations, no matter what translation I pick, it basically says the same thing. I mean, these are the most prominent translations in the world, and they say the same thing. And because it says the same thing in Arabic, it says that the sky is held by God. Some say that it refers to some divine thing that we can't see, which is heaven, but it obviously refers to the sky, which is above us. Well, there are some very obvious points here. First, the sky is not a solid thing. It can't fall down on earth. There's no such possibility. It's not some kind of object that stays there that can somehow fall down on earth. According to the Quran it is, but... And what the hell would happen if the sky could fall down? That brings us to the main point of this conversation. Whenever we point out flawed Quran verses, whenever we show Muslims Quran verses that were obviously written out of confusion and ignorance and just weirdness, they want us to go to scholars. Let's go to scholars. Let's see what tafsirs say. Tafsirs are exegesis, interpretations and explanations of the Quran. They are only important to provide further explanations to verses in the Quran and to understand the context in which each Quran verse was revealed, because there are lots of hadiths, narrations referring to events around the time of Muhammad that can further explain what the verse means. Lots of verses might seem at first a bit ununderstandable because you don't know what's really going on, but there is actually something behind that happened at that time, and those things are generally explained in hadith. For example, in Quran 2.282, the divine book says that in some cases, in agreements, there have to be 2 witnesses. If there are not 2 male witnesses, then there have to be 1 male witness and 2 female witnesses, which puts 2 women on the level of 1 man. Muhammad explains this further in a hadith by saying that women are deficient in intelligence. We need that information to figure out that Quran verse, and it doesn't make it better. Now we have a little problem. If you want to find an explanation of this Quran verse, we might not be very successful, because many scholars who wrote tafsirs didn't even have a problem with this Quran verse, so they didn't even make a comment on this. But here we have an explanation from one of the most respected, still one of the most respected scholars of tafsirs ever, Ibn Khatir. Let's look what he says. Ibn Khatir lived in the 14th century, and he wrote his explanation, his exegesis of the Quran in that century. He says, "He withholds the heaven from falling on the earth except by his leave. If he willed, he could give the sky permission to fall on earth, and whoever is in it would be killed. But by his kindness, mercy, and power, he withholds the heaven from falling on the earth except by his leave." So again, the divine book, the Quran, the perfect book that was written by God from the perspective of God, who knows everything, who has all the knowledge on everything, says that the sky might fall down. And he holds it for us because he has so much mercy and kindness for us. Thank you for watching. You can follow me for updates on social media. My Instagram account is open again, so you can follow me there before Instagram bans me again. And my Twitter account is quite active too. My Patreon is active. Have a nice time. See you on Friday with a controversial topic. And stay away from Islam. Bye.